Hey friends, welcome to episode 2 of A Book and a Beak. The book for this month is Starting Over at Blueberry Creek by Annie Raines. This is the second book in the Sweetwater Springs series. In this book we meet Brenna. Now Brenna runs the local catering company that her mother started. We learn early on in this book that both her mother and her father have died. And they died when she was a teenager. She just started college and she came home to look after her younger sister Evie. Brenna doesn't want to really be running the catering company. She would much rather have finished her qualification to become a teacher and be teaching somewhere. And she's swithering whether or not to sell the business and follow her dream, basically. What is sort of semi-holding her back is her sister. Her sister is a bit of a live wire, shall we say, and is very opinionated, very much I will do what I want and to hang with anybody else. Her sister is a volunteer at the local fire department and she really wants to become a full-time firefighter, which would follow in her father's footsteps. He was also a member of the fire crew at the station. And into the station comes Luke, who is coming in as the deputy chief, and he's having a few, shall we say, struggles to get the other fire crew to respond to him. He also happens to live next door to Brenna, and one day Brenna takes him over, so shall we say, a welcome to the neighbourhood gift, and they sort of get off on a slightly wrong foot, which makes things a wee bit awkward. However, they resolve that difference and they sort of start going on, they start dating for, or maybe you could call it old-fashioned courting, because it's very gentle, very slow, very soft. And something happens at the station that the fire chief has to go off work for a couple of months, and Luke ends up taking his place, which means that they're one full-time firefighter down, so Evie gets the job. That does not go down well with Brenna at all. That is just like, you're putting my little sister in danger, and the little sister's going, I want to do this, blah blah blah. So there is the conflict between the two sisters. And then there's also the conflict at times between Luke and Brenna. But they seem to be able to get past that and still continue going out with each other. Something happens to Evie that Brenna is just like, oh my gosh, you can't be a firefighter, period. But, Evie has to come back to back home for this reason. Brenna eventually decides that she's going to sell the business and that she is going to go and follow. She got accepted back into college and that she is going to go and she's going to do her teaching. So you have all of that going on in the book, and it was really well written. It was lovely. The characters were fantastic. I really, really enjoyed the characters. I enjoyed seeing the interplay between Evie and Brenna trying to work towards resolving their sisterly relationship so that they became more the sisters that they used to be, rather than Brenna trying to be the mum. I can understand why she was doing it, because she felt when she came back from, when her parents died, that she needed to be the parent because her sister was, so much younger at that point in time. But she finds it hard to try and let that go. I really liked Luke as a character. He was a nice man. He wanted the best for everybody. He wanted the fire station to be as good as it could possibly be, and for everybody within the fire station to reach their full potential. He was really, that was really important to him, and I really liked that aspect of it. I liked the side characters as well in the book, the people that helped Brenna at the catering company, and also her friends within the town as well. I thought they were really, really nice. I'm looking forward to the next book to see if we get more of what happens to these two characters. I hope we do. I hope it isn't just like that's their story, bang, end of. I would really like to know what happens, you know, after the final pages of this book. So that was starting over at Blueberry Creek. We also got as a bonus story. We got a bonus story in this, which was really, really nice. We got a bonus story by Melinda Curtis called Sealed with a Kiss. And again, this was another, shall we say, food type story where food was involved. We meet Kimmy, who helps at the local grocery store run the sandwich department, and they make up fresh deli sandwiches every day, and she has kind of her own recipes that she's developed, and they sell really, really well. She's in the process of earning money to redo like a catering truck so that she can go out on her own and have her own business as a deli sandwich maker. Her ex-boyfriend is getting married, and she needs a date for his wedding because it's such a small town that, you know, she's obviously been invited to the wedding. And she doesn't really want to go, but she doesn't have anybody. And then there is this group of ladies called, is it the Bosom Buddies, I think they're called? And they decide that a young man called Booker, who was Kimmy's friend, would be an ideal date for her. In fact, would be an ideal partner for her in life in general. Booker has come back to town to help his parents' restaurant business and to try and boost sales for it. But the way he wants to do this is slightly underhand in that he wants to sell gourmet sandwiches. But not just any gourmet sandwiches. He wants to sell the gourmet sandwiches that Kimmy made for him when they were dating in high school. And his parents are of the impression that he's okayed this with her. And he keeps trying to, but he's not managing to do it. Things come to a head, and, you know, she's obviously very, very hurt. And she's like, I don't want anything to do with you. Things move on from there, and, you know, it was really nicely written. Loved the way that the characters interplayed with each other, and the fact that, you know, there was this issue that needed to be resolved. And it was done in such a nice way. I loved the fact that the old ladies tried to intervene, and, you know, just still kept pushing them, tried to get them together, etc. I thought that was just so nice. They were just a fun bunch of ladies that, you know, wanted the best for everybody. And I liked Kimmy's family and her parents and their uncle. They're a strong Italian family, and that they will help each other out at all times. Like, her uncle is helping her redo her van, as is her father. And they're getting parts from various people that they know. So it's really, really nicely portrayed as, you know, family is very, very important, and that, you know, family means everything. A really lovely novella that I would definitely recommend as well. So yes, I hope you've enjoyed my reviews of these two books. If you've read them, please let me know down in the comments what you thought of them. If you're going to read them, I would really like to know what you think. And will I be reading the next ones? Definitely. Annie Raines is kind of a new to me author, and definitely one that I will want to read more of. But until next time, friends, stay safe and happy reading. Bye. Hi friends, welcome to the bake part of this episode. I hope you enjoy it. I'm going to make pancakes, which were part of the book that I just described to you. So yeah, I'm going to make pancakes, but mine are going to be slightly different. Hey, why make normal pancakes when you make something different? But I hope you enjoy this, and I'll speak to you later. Okay, in this bowl I've got a pinch of salt, which I added to 4 ounces of plain flour. I'm making mine slightly different, as I'm going to add some ground ginger and also some grated orange zest. So I think I'm probably going to put about a teaspoon of ground ginger into here. I may go consult with my mum and sort of decide how much would be best. I have there half a pint of milk and I have 1 egg. So I shall add my ginger and my orange zest, and then I'll let you see what I'm going to do next. Okay, I've now added the ginger. I did a teaspoon. We thought I would try a teaspoon first. So what I've done is made a wee well in the middle, and I'm going to put my egg in, and then add a wee bit of the milk, and then I start whisking. So I'm not going to try and show you me whisking, because if I do that it's going to end up all over the kitchen. So I'll whisk a wee bit and let you see what it looks like. Right, that's kind of half the milk in. I'm now going to add the rest of it, but it's beginning to look like a nice consistency. So I'm going to add the rest of the milk, whip it, and I'll let you see what it looks like. Okay, so that's the batter kind of made, and it's a pouring consistency. I now need to cover this and let it sit for half an hour, and then I will then cook them. So I will bring you back when I'm ready to cook. Okay, the pancake mixture is sat for half an hour, and now I'm melting some butter and some oil in the frying pan. We used to have an iron skillet, but it was an absolute pain in the ass. It was like so heavy, so we got rid of it. So I'm using just a non-stick frying pan, but I'm still going to grease it. And this is what she said. Let's try to lift this up. That's what the batter looks like now. I'll probably give it another wee whisk actually before I put some into the frying pan. I'm actually going to use my 1/4 cup, or part of a 1/4 cup, to spoon it out into the frying pan. And I have a wire rack, and I will just pull that back and put the pancakes between the tablecloth. What am I saying? The dishcloth. That's the word. So yes, I'm going to give this another wee week. Yes, that's a technical term. While this is melting, and then I'll let you see what happens next. Okay, the 1/4 cup was too big, so I'll use this one and I'll flip it, and then I'll make smaller ones, hopefully. But the batter is very, very runny, which is not something I expected, but we'll wait and see what happens. Okay, we think the batter there's something wrong. The recipe for the batter was wrong, so what we're going to do is we're just going to make them into crepes. I'll cook this one. The first one is like that. They're not the scones, not the pancakes I wanted, but we'll make them and use them anyway. So all I'm doing is frying these and then just flipping them over. Yeah, I could get a great job at a greasy spoon, eh? No worries. But I'm just going to say I'm going to make them bigger and make them as crepes, and we'll use them that way. Okay, we have added more flour. We've actually put some SR flour into it and made it a thicker batter. We don't know what was wrong with the other batter. We think the recipe was wrong. So I'm going to use this thicker batter, and I've actually added some more salt and some more ginger to it, and hopefully that will make it the kind of pancakes I want. So we've added the new batter and taken away a lot of the fat, and as you see, the little bubbles begin to appear. So as more bubbles appear, I'll wait till they burst a bit, and then I'm going to flip them over. Okay, after getting the first lot out, they weren't colouring. The recipe didn't call for sugar, so what I've done is I've put a big squeeze of syrup, golden syrup, into it, and we're getting the colour I want now. Yay! Okay, I'm making these bigger. We've discovered that we think that the recipe that I chose, which said pancakes, is actually for crepes and not Scottish pancakes, which is what I wanted to make. So I'm still going to cook them. I'm sure we'll still eat them, maybe. But hey, this channel is about reading and eating, and if I make mistakes when I'm cooking, fine, I'll own up to it and say, I've made a mistake or it didn't work. But if I do try and make other pancakes, I will let you see them. But hey, this one's a bust, but I hope you enjoyed this edition of A Book and a Bake, and I'll speak to you next month. Bye. Editing Fiona on here. We realised why the pancakes didn't work out. It was a crepe recipe. If I wanted to make pancakes, which are Scottish pancakes, I needed to find a recipe. They now call them drop scones. Don't ask me why, I have no idea, but Scottish pancakes in recipes are called drop scones. So it's Shrove Tuesday on Tuesday, obviously. So I'm going to be making some drop scones then, so I will video that process and then let you see it. But that's the reason that those supposed pancakes didn't work out. But hey, you can't win them all, and not everything you make or bake turns out the way you want it, but they are still quite tasty, so that's quite nice. But anyway, I just wanted to pop on and let you know that. Bye. Hey friends, it is Pancake Tuesday, and I decided that I'm going to make what are called drop scones. These are Scottish pancakes. So I have all my ingredients here, and I'm going to start putting them together. So you put all the dry ingredients into the measuring bowl, into the bowl first. So I'll do that, and then I'll come back and tell you what I've done. Okay, I looked at the recipe for this and realised there was going to be I was going to make too many scones, pancakes. So I've actually halved the recipe. So in here I have half a pound, 8 ounces of plain flour, half a teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon cream of tartar, 1 teaspoon cream of baking soda, bicarbonate soda. In here I've got 1 egg. I have about just under half a pint of milk and a nice big squirt of golden syrup. You can use sugar. I elected to use golden syrup because I reckoned it would not be as sweet. So what I've done is I've just mixed this all together. I'm then going to add it to my dry ingredients and mix that all together. So I'll let you see what it looks like once I've done that. Okay, it says to mix a fairly thick batter, so I think that's definitely a fairly thick batter. It's definitely looking a lot more like what I wanted it to be like compared to what I had, in my previous attempt to make pancakes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just melt a little knob of butter to fry the pancakes in the frying pan. We used to have a griddle, but it was just like so heavy and cumbersome we got rid of it. So I'm going to heat this up and I will start frying my pancakes. While I'm waiting for the butter to melt, I've got a wire rack and just this old dishcloth. And when I make the pancakes, I'll just slip them underneath. When they're ready, they'll slip between the two bits of the dishcloth. So the butter is beginning to melt just gently. This is a non-stick pan, but I'm just going to melt a little bit just to maybe add another little flavour to my drop scones. So I will let you see what happens next. Okay, I've added my one dollop of my pancake mixture. I've got a sneaky suspicion this might be a bit too thick, so I may sort of put some more milk in it just to slightly loosen the mixture a bit, but I will see what this one turns out like, and then I'll come back to you. What I'm waiting on are little bubbles to start appearing and to sort of burst so that I know it's ready to flip over, but hopefully it will be soon. So I've flipped it over. Mum said the batter's fine, so I'm just going to go with it. So I'm just going to probably dot another couple down. Mum's watching. It puffs. Oh well, that's fine. So if it pushes and squidges, we're all right. So I'm just going to start making some more. I thought I'd better let you see my implement. It's just basically a dessert spoon is what I'm using. And I use just like a little spatula knife. So I just put mixture onto the dessert spoon and just put it into the pan. I've put the fan on because it's just like, oh my goodness, the smell will just get everywhere. But as I say, I'm just putting dollops in. I'm not sort of measuring it out evenly or anything. I'm just putting nice just dollops on, and as I say, once it sort of starts maybe bubbling a bit, I will then flip them over. But the first one I made, hold on, is under its wee protective cover, but there it is. Does that not look so tasty? So yes, I will let you see them all when they're done. Okay, I've only got 3 left in the pan. As I say, I halved the recipe, and we have sort of cut one into our Dad's had part of one, so that's the kind of texture I've got in mine, which is really good. I am not as good a pancake maker as my grandmother. My Gran McNeil was a master pancake maker. Oh my gosh. I need to perfect my technique, guys. I really do. Gran's batter was slightly runnier than mine, and I think that's maybe where I've got wrong. These have risen up really well, which is what I wanted, but I think the batter is too thick, so I'm not getting the air bubbles at the beginning or when I want to turn them over that Gran got. So I need to perfect this technique, but I will let you know what they taste like when we go to taste them. Okay, Mum is doing the first taste test with maple syrup. Oh, I got a thumbs up. Oh, that's good. I'm glad. So, are they honestly okay? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm daft.
No, I didn't. But sometimes you might just say yes and just to be nice to me.
Not a chance. Not where fruit's concerned.
Right, we'll see what Dad is pouring his maple syrup on. I'll say I can't have mine until these 3 come out the pan. Right, Dad's going to do the taste test. Well,
lovely.
am I getting your Gran?
Oh yes.
All right, cool, excellent. Well, if they say it's good, then I'm sure it's good. Well, hope you enjoyed this, friends. Well, friends, I hope you've enjoyed the second episode of A Book and a Bake. Please let me know down below if you have been inspired by this to make pancakes. Do you make pancakes? I'd really like to know. And if you read the book, I would really love to know what you think about it. But I will speak to you next month with another episode. But until then, I'm away to eat my pancake. Bye.